It appears I might be impatient because I might be wanting a sword sooner, and sooner than I can get out of making these on parallel. That could be the reason why I've been focusing on this particular sword. It's changed a lot, but here's some pictures. And here's where it is now. I think the first time I weighed it, first time I put it on a scale, it was about 740 grams. And that was after quite a bit of grinding. So I don't know how much it weighed initially, but right now it is 510 grams, or 1 pound and 2 ounces. The blade is about 23 inches long, the tang is about 7 inches long, and the thickness is about 5 millimeters here and about 4 millimeters here. It's nice to have some digital calipers. These have been very helpful. It would be difficult to get a good thickness without them. I was initially thinking 6 millimeters and then 3. But the sword was for slightly different purposes, and also it seemed a bit thin, like it wouldn't be as stiff as it would be. Also, I found out that while distal tapers aren't as hard as I first thought a while ago, they are still a bit difficult. They do take a lot of time, so it was also my first time actually doing a diamond cross section, like on a steel sword, and having a distal taper. Another thing is heat treat hasn't happened yet, so I don't want to make things too thin. I think 4 millimeters should be fine. And with how light it is, I don't know if I'll need any more than that. There's also, I don't know how much the oxidation will take off, because, you know, I heat it up and oxygen bonds to it, and the surface oxidizes and makes this kind of black coat. When I grind that away, how much is that? I don't know. Also, having it thicker would be less warping. So I think I might play it safe and do that. And if it ends up still being 5 and 4, that's fine. But if I'm able to grind it down a little bit thinner, that's also fine. Not worried too much about this area here, because when I put the guard on, I plan to use silver solder to pretty much solder the guard on here. So there'll probably be solder on here, so it won't be showing really. It won't really make much of a difference. And silver solder, because that would be once this is heat treated, and when that happens, you don't want to heat it up too hot, otherwise it'll lose what you did. So silver with its low melting point wouldn't ruin the temper. Also, this is kind of thin. A book I have tells me to leave at least 25 thousandths of an inch, and I've checked with the calipers, and I'm fine. I'm around there. I'm guessing. Actually, I haven't checked in a while. So I just checked, and it's about 35 thousandths, and that is so it is kind of kept thick, and again less warping in the heat treating, and it also gives you a bit more some material to work with if something goes wrong and you have to grind it out. And then it's not too much to sharpen. So I'm working on acquiring a quench tank, so I can't do heat treating quite yet. But until then, I can work on the hilt, starting with the guard. And I think I'm going to try to use this to cut it up and take the pieces I need for the guard and pommel, and find a nice light wood and have polished steel and a white grip. So this is going pretty well. And I think that's it. That's all I wanted to tell you. So it ends here.